going to be able to not hear that. Maybe unless this old noise reductions it out, but there. There's been literally today 8 hours non-stop of stump grinders and gas-powered leaf blowers going. They're doing something a couple houses over. And they had this stump grinder going from like 7:30 in the morning. And literally the ground here was shaking. And then the walls would shake. They'd run it for a while. It sounded like a plane or a giant truck was coming. It would roar and the house would shake and then they'd stop. And a couple seconds later, roar, and the house would shake and then it would stop. Roar, and the house would shake and this has been going on since like 7:30 in the morning. Now it's like 3:30 and the leaf blower has not stopped. I have no idea what they're doing or why you need a stump grinder going for that long, but here we are. So sorry if you hear that blasting away. Nothing I can do. I gotta record now. I got pies in the oven. I gotta make dinner. I gotta do it. I gotta record. So here he is. So how are you? Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining the show. My name is Michael. I am a woman's photographer located in New Jersey. I have worked with hundreds of women through the course of my career, and this is a little show where we answer questions to help you have a great experience when you go for a boudoir session, because as we've seen, or if you've listened to a few of these episodes, it's not so simple. It's not as simple as blowing a leaf blower for like 7 straight hours. It's much more difficult. So here we're answering some of these questions. We just want everyone to have a great experience, good session, be able to shop smart, and avoid the many pitfalls that are part of boudoir photography. So here we are. Every week we answer a question. Hopefully it's helpful for you. Give you some information. So when you go out to book your session, you don't fall for it. You don't fall for those crazy photographers. And you have a good time. So this week, again, we have an interesting question. And this week, the question is, aren't all boudoir photographers the same? I mean, what the hell is the difference? What's the difference? I just got to pick somebody. What does it matter? Why are you doing all this? I just find the nearest person. Everybody's the same. It's a common thought. So today we're going to chat about that a little bit, get some answers. I think I'm going to try, see what, I was going to say Mr. ChatGPT, but actually this week I have Miss ChatGPT. Try a different way to hook it up. I still don't have the right cable. So actually when I hook it up, it plays, but it can't hear me. So it like cuts off the microphone. So I have to figure out some way to do that without it cutting off the microphone. So it's curious to see what ChatGPT has to say about the question. So I was going to ask and see, well, actually this week is a she, what she thinks about that. So let me see if I can get her awake. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this as good. Are you there? ChatGPT, are you there?
I'm here. What's up?
Well, I have a question for you, and I was curious, are all boudoir photographers the same?
Not at all. Boudoir photographers vary widely in their styles, approaches, and the experiences they offer. Each one brings their unique vision and technique to the table. So the key is finding a photographer whose style and personality resonate with you.
So you're telling me I just can't pick somebody randomly and they're all going to be the same?
That's right. Picking randomly might not get you the experience or results you're looking for. It's worth doing a bit of research to find a photographer whose portfolio and approach match your preferences. After all, you're investing in a personal and unique experience.
That sounds good to me. Thanks, ChatGPT.
You're welcome. Glad to help. If you have any more questions, just let me know.
So there we go. I guess maybe all photographers are not the same. Who would have ever imagined that? Would you say all houses are the same? After all, they have a roof and a front door. Would all houses be the same? How about cars? Would you say all cars are the same? They all got wheels, 4 wheels and like a steering wheel. What could possibly be different from one car from another? This is a very weird way of thinking that has persisted in women's photography for a long time. Oh, just pick. What's the difference? They're all the same. Would you say all restaurants are the same? Like, nobody would ever take that kind of thought process and apply it to anywhere else. But yet, like in women's photography, people, for some reason, think photographers are all exactly the same. So we're going to chat about that a little bit today and see exactly how wrong that is. And as we've talked about on the show before, one of probably the biggest danger, I don't know if it's exactly a danger, but the biggest danger is that anybody can call themselves like a pro boudoir photographer. It doesn't matter. Literally, if you just put in a search, boudoir, Indianapolis, you're going to see a list of people. Some of them could be horrible, have no technical experience. Some of them could have just started 2 or 3 weeks ago. There's a few that are going to be middle, maybe 1 or 2 that are going to be like really good. But yet, they all come up on that list. Do you really want to trust your wedding gift to somebody who started 2 weeks ago and has no idea what they're doing? Like maybe a couple of weeks they were at a cupcake at home baking business. They said, that's not going to work out. I'm going to flip to boudoir photography. Well, the camera does all the work. What does it matter? I'm making women beautiful. Is that really what you want to put the hands of your wedding gift in? Someone who started like 2 weeks ago? Well, would you like hire someone who called themselves a pro guitar player who only picked up a guitar 2 weeks ago and doesn't know how to play the guitar? That would be a little strange, right? Well, I'm learning a song. I started about 2 weeks ago, but I'm calling myself a pro. That would be kind of strange. But in the world of women's photography, it's very, very normal for people who have no idea what they're doing to call themselves pros and put up websites and like start soliciting for business. Wouldn't hire a guitar player to play at your wedding who started 2 weeks ago. Why would you choose a women's photographer who started 2 weeks ago? Why would you do anything who started like 2 or 3 weeks ago and has no experience doing what they're doing? You know, and the photographer isn't going to say that. They're not going to bring that up. You're just going to go on that website and it's going to be, I'm changing lives. I want you to be the most beautiful person ever. You. Life's not fair. Everything's not fair. I'm here to heal you. I'm here to make you strong. You're going to see a lot of that, you know, but this is where you have to start asking some tough questions, and it's not going to be listed on a website. Google's not going to tell you, oh, their experience is 2 weeks ago or they suck as a photographer. You know, they're just going to list a bunch of names there. So, you're just going to close your eyes and just randomly like pick one, and that's going to be the winner. It's hard. It's tricky. And as I noted too, some people just lack a lot of skills. It ain't easy. It's not easy learning how to take pictures of women. It's just not. Some people get it. It's like anything else, and some people aren't. Just because you love golf does not mean you're great at golf. Just because you love playing basketball does not mean you're a good basketball player. Just because you want to call yourself a pro boudoir photographer does not mean you have any idea of how to photograph women. This is like the brutal truth of this universe. So you have to be vigilant and don't look at the price. It was only $99, so that's a deal. It doesn't matter. Don't go by price. That's a horrible indicator to use to choose who you want to be. Yeah, but I got a coupon. It was $99. You're in big trouble if that's the way you're shopping for women's photography. No one's going to be anybody who would you show up to your job for $2 or $3 an hour? Probably not. So why would you think any photographer worth their salt be doing something like that? It makes no sense. It's not a deal. It's just something to be very afraid of. And when you're going through that process of choosing your photographer, there are just so many differences. And again, I hate to say this over because it makes me sound like I'm better. But I can look at somebody and know what they're doing in a moment or two just by seeing their website, seeing their pictures, and what they're writing. But it's not as straightforward for people, and I understand that. And, we want everyone to have cute pictures that they can enjoy. So that takes a little bit of work. And the number one thing you have to understand is that boudoir photographers are all very, very different. Remember, there's a lot out there that have just started and have no skill, no experience. There's a chunk in the middle who are very average, again, have probably very limited skills, ability. Somehow they persist. And then there's a few people out there who have made their living, they're great with customers, they're great editors, so forth and so on. And those are the ones you want to wind up with. Those are the people you want to pick. You don't want to select the person who's been playing a guitar just for 10 days. You would interview that person, right? You would say, play me a song. Let me see some of your work. Right? Or if it was when you go to get your wedding cake, you wouldn't pick someone who just has no idea how to cook or bake and hasn't, let me see your taster. You're not going to hire that person or spend that much money. Isn't it ridiculous what they charge for wedding cakes? Spend that much on a cake if someone doesn't know what they're doing, right? You wouldn't do that. But yet you would hire a woman's photographer who picked up a camera for the first time a week and a half ago just because she's changing lives. And you wouldn't think twice about asking about their ability or experience or looking at it or anything else. It's a very strange way, and you got to stop it. You got to stop it. All women's photographers are not the same. They're very, very, very different. Just like we talked about, all cars are different. There's all different price points. You're not going to quite get the same thing when you're buying a used, 2004 Hyundai as you are buying a $128,000 brand new Mercedes-Benz, are you? It's going to be a little different experience on the road. It's going to be a little bit different quality in the inside. It's going to be a little bit different ride experience. It's going to be a little bit different acceleration difference. You would not call those two things the same. Now, not saying everybody needs to get a $128,000 car. Everybody's at different, However, boudoir is something special. It's something unique. You're not doing this all the time. And it's kind of like going on a vacation. You want to do it the right way and find the person who's experienced. Got to ask questions. How long have you been doing this? You got to see some of the work. You got to get on a consultation and talk with the person. Find out a little bit about their personality. Do you jive with them? And that's where you can ask, oh yeah, how long have you been doing this? And like we started in a show a week or two ago, we did that show. How many years were you taking pictures before you started to turn a pro? What are you doing with my pictures afterwards? See the last episode. Some of these questions you need to ask during a consultation. But there's steps you could do, ahead. You got to look through the galleries. Is there a wide variety of people on there? Not just one person who is the photographer's friend who volunteered to take pictures, and that's it. Do they not look good? Again, are they flattering to the person? They're all different kind of like body styles in there and so forth. Reading the copy on the person's website. Go to their about page. Does it say anything about how long they've been doing this or how they love photography since they were a kid and they've had an experience? It's about joy. A big part of the photographers who are going to be really, really good at what they do is that they just get a genuine joy from photography or from women's photography. They just love making women feel good and look good in those photos. That's what you want to be on the out, looking out for in your session. But I'm going to check. I'm going to follow up with everybody. I'm going to trick you. I'm going to send you a quiz. And if anybody tells me that all photographers are the same, you're going to fail. I'm going to fail you. Everybody's different, and you have to do some homework. And just because someone tells you got a coworker who's friend and she just started, just say thanks but no thanks. Yeah, but she does really thanks but no thanks. She just started 2 weeks ago on her boudoir. I know she's a friend of a friend and trying to help her out. No thanks. Find somebody that has been, and how can you tell? Well, one of the ways they have an Instagram feed, if it goes back, and back for several years, and go back and see photos from years ago, you know they've been around for a while. If their feed only goes back like 3 weeks and everything before that is cupcakes, you know you got an issue. If 85% of their, feed on their Instagram, they probably changed the name, Joni Ross, Boudoir Photography. But if there's 6 pictures of women and the rest are cupcakes, or MLM stuff, you got a little bit of a problem. So you got to do this work. Only go with very experienced photographers who know what they're doing. Chat with them. Find out everything you need to know about working with them. So that's what we got. That's what we're chatting about today. That was our show. Just very important for me to make everybody aware that how different photographers are. Just like anything else that we talked about. Restaurants, hotels, cars, photographers, they're all going to be different. And just because someone, again, I always reference Kitchen Nightmares, just because someone opens a restaurant doesn't mean they know what the hell they're doing, right? We've all seen how disgusting and just would never go in there and eat. It's the same thing with photographers. A big chunk of them are really bad, and they just have no idea what they're doing. And it's just a bad experience for people. So don't get yourself in a Kitchen Nightmares situation. Ask a lot of questions. Understand that all photographers are different. And you'll be good. You sort through. When you see your list, ask the questions. Do your research. Everybody's going to be different. Chat with somebody. Maybe you find somebody you really get along with. And she says, oh yeah, I've been doing this for several years. Good pictures. Then talk about budget. Talk about, what you want to do in that session. And it takes a little work, and you'll find somebody. They're out there. But I don't want to hear that you took someone like on a $49 coupon offer, no, don't do that. That's a hard pass. Especially if it's your wedding. Don't do that, please. So that's what we got for this week. So hopefully that was helpful. Follow what ChatGPT told you. Photographers are wildly different. They're all not the same. Just going to keep repeating that on this episode till it sinks in on your brain. So when you go out and do your shopping, you can understand that. Buckle down, do your work, ask the questions, and then you'll get a great session with great photos. And that's what it's all about. And it sounds repetitive, it sounds kind of obvious, but you'll be shocked how many people just do not comprehend that photographers are all different. And just because someone calls himself a pro means nothing. Nothing! So thanks for listening. That's all I got for you for today. And hopefully that was helpful for somebody. We'll be back next week. Shop smart. Want everybody to have a great time and walk away with beautiful pictures they could enjoy for years to come. And unless you get super lucky and happen to roll the dice and wind up with somebody that does a good job, I would say you got a big chance it's not going to go that way. So just do your work, enjoy your session. If you have any questions, you can always email me. Usually the easiest way to get me is on my website. Send me an Instagram message, but people do that sometimes, it goes in that spam folder if I'm not following you, and sometimes I don't see those, but I only check that once in a while. It's hard to message people on Instagram. They don't always see it because of the way their messaging works. But you could drop me a note on my website. I'll check somebody out for you. I'm happy to help. And that's it for this week. Let's dance a little bit. I got an apple pie in the oven. Making some meatballs for dinner. I'm just going to relax tonight. And that's it. That's what we got. Let's talk to you next time, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.